All right. Thanks for tuning in. We are here live at Morningside Music Studio, and this is part of the Arlington Jazz Workshop Series, sponsored in part by the Arlington Cultural Council. And we have a very, very special guest, my friend Rafael Barata. He's a Brazilian drummer, Zildjian and Tama recording artist, Grammy-winning drummer. He's toured all over the world. He's going to show us about Brazilian rhythms in Latin jazz. So without further ado, Rafael Barata.
All right, folks, here we are. Thanks a lot for joining us, and good evening, everyone. Let us know how is the audio going, if you can hear, if you cannot hear in anything else. So, well, let me put this guy here. Yeah. By the way, thanks, Zildjian, always, and Paul Francis. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start here. First of all, thanking Arlington Jazz, Dan, and the whole people that make this happen. And I really appreciate to be here. And I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to play a little bit, a couple songs, talk a little bit about the history behind this, particular rhythms. And all the connection with the jazz and, the whole thing. So if you guys have questions, anything, you're welcome to send them by the text. And let's see how this is going to work. It's, believe it or not, that's pretty much new for me, this thing. I like live things, but now this is live. Okay, so let's go. I'll start playing a song. Just 1 second. I will start playing a song. I did. Okay. I hope this is good. Playing a song I recorded years ago with the greatest Rosa Passos, an amazing Brazilian singer. And the name of the song, it's called É Luxo Só. It's also the name of the album we recorded in a tribute to the great Elisete Cardoso, another singer. So there you go. Shut this down and play.
Essa mulata quando o samba é luxo só, quando todo o seu corpo se balança, é luxo só. Tem não sei que faz a confusão, que ela não tem, meu Deus, a compaixão. Se balança, é luxo só, porém seu coração quando se agita e palpita mais ligeiro, nunca vi compasso tão brasileiro. É samba cai pra lá, e é samba cai pra lá, cai pra lá, mexe com as cadeiras, seu ré quebrado não trata. Olha, essa mulata quando samba é luxo só. Quando ligeiro. Nunca vi compasso com um brasileiro. Eita samba, cai pra lá, cai pra cá, cai pra lá, cai pra cá. Eita samba, cai pra lá, cai pra cá, cai pra lá, cai pra cá. Mexe com as cadeiras, seu requebrador. Olha, essa mulata quando dança é luxo só. Quando todo seu corpo se balança é luxo só. Porém, seu coração quando se agita e palpita, mais ligeiro, nunca vi compasso tão brasileiro.
All right. That was Lúcio Só, Rosa Passos, George Elder on bass, Lula Galvão. Okay. Level Up. We're bringing Level Up. So that was George Elder on bass, Lula Galvão on the guitar, Rosa Passos from the album Lúcio Só. Something I recorded years ago, and just starting to talk a little bit. It's very special the way we created we created drumming in Brazil. You know, most of the time we learned by ourselves. So all the drummers, they had to emulate another instruments on the kit, because originally everything it comes from the percussion instruments, like, you know, congas, you know, bells, shakers, everything. So all that giant party involving like many musicians, you know, celebrations, most of the time religious celebrations, like back in, you know, century, you know, and it's part of our history, you know, like our culture from Africa and everything. So candomblé, you know, all those Afro things. And so when you get that all together, and we have great and specific rhythms, but they are basically played by other percussion instruments, and then the drum set becomes like popular later on. And there's when the drummer has to be creative and somehow translate all those instruments on here. So what I like to do, and somehow it's connected. I used to play a bebop kit. It's a very jazzy, you know, profile for a drum set. It's an 18 bass drum, 12, 14, you know, it's no big deal. I'm using like very like jazzy cymbals. So basically this kit is the jazz part of the story. And then I put all the Brazilian elements from our rhythms using this sound. So that's how I build the connection, you know. As a jazz player, as a jazz drummer, we have freedom, we have balances we have to take care of on our instrument in order to make that mood work, you know. So what I try to do, it's basically using all the jazz background to organize the Brazilian ideas from our rhythms and putting over here. So then, in my believing, I make the real fusion. I mean, the real Brazilian jazz. That's how I build the concept. So, in this first song, as we recorded, I just play all straight on straight cymbal. I mean, I was not playing usually like on the hats like as in Brazil, because I was doing like more jazzy thing on top of that. And actually, so that's why I said a little bit before everything is connected. That's also how it was. Because if you guys don't know, I want to share a name, Edson Machado. He was a great drummer, and he was very known as the guy actually that created the cymbal samba, which is like the writing on the cymbal, because usually the samba wasn't played like that. Remember what I told you guys, the samba starts on the parties, and there was no cymbal. There was just drum, people playing drums, shakers, everything. So when we bring the samba to the drum kit, we are emulating this. I'm talking about like 40s, 30s, and 50s. And then we are emulating this. So playing different. I can show you. Let me turn this down. We used to call that samba cruzado. So something like this. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So. Okay, so this is a samba cruzado, basically the way it was before the cymbal samba came. And I want to share another name, not only Edson Machado, because Edson actually was the guy, let's say, that became famous. Like, he had his band. Actually, one of his great arrangers was J.T. Meirelles, J.T. Meirelles, João Teobaldo, that's his name. João Teodoro, maybe, sorry. Well, he founded this band, Meirelles and Copa 5, and then 7. And I was actually, Machado was one of them. I was one of, I think I was the last one. And so he got famous. Edson had a great story, and I love him. But that was this guy, Ildofredo Correia, which actually was the man that started the thing. But he was kind of low profile, and a guy playing in nightclubs in Rio, so not super famous and getting all the gigs. He had his steady gig, but everybody was always there like checking him out, and especially Edson. So that's something interesting to know, like Ildofredo Correia. That's a good name. And so then Edson brings the cymbal to the samba, or the samba to the cymbal, because his drum head got broken. That's how the story tells. I believe like that was Ildofredo thing, but no matter, it doesn't matter. The big deal here is we are talking about writing now the samba, and as you could see, I was writing here on the snare, but making accents. So the most important thing to figure out when you play samba is who is leading, what is the important thing. If we play straight notes here like this, that doesn't mean anything. It could be any rhythm. Okay, that could be anything. So I don't believe we should go in this way. Seriously. I don't believe the samba has to be like developed and like passed generation by generation, like believing this is the source, because that's not. Okay? The source for samba, as we said, was all those parties and everything, and we had also connection with the jazz, because it's all about slavery, poor people, Africa, and everything. So it's all celebration, party, and swing. Swing is the key. Swing, balance, like how to bounce, how to make the groove how to make it tasty, like to make the people dance, shake their bodies. That's the meaning of everything. Celebration, so happiness, So I don't believe like that way it goes. So Edson didn't play that, or those guys didn't play that. Somehow we got somebody playing this and make that really happening. But the beauty was phrasing as here, there. So what I'm playing here is, in my opinion, the heart of the samba. This guy here, the tamborim, the Brazilian tamborim. Even this is made in USA. This is LP. Thanks, LP. And actually, it's a great tamborim, and they call Rio. That's the name of this tamborim, my city, Rio. So I believe like tamborim is the heart of the samba. Because of this little pattern. So if I play that, I'm pretty sure you can tell me, wow, this is samba. You're not going to say this is rock or anything else. But if I play those notes, you're going to say. I mean, you cannot be able to say, you're not going to be able to say anything until you listen something else. So this is the heart of the samba, something like connected with the bass drum, make the pulse. Okay, so there are many lines we consider like patterns to play this, but most of the time it's kind of free too. There's a room for expression and feel, and I also like to compare with Taylor, because the swing has to be tailored, the melody of this sticking, it should be tailored for that music, So the phrasing, like the melody, how the melody goes, it's the way you're gonna have a conversation and keep the song spicy, So this is the source, okay? Let me play a little bit more, right? So let me play something else. I think I'm talking too much. Okay, so talking about Rio, I'm going to play another song. This one is composed by Luizão Paiva. It's a song I've met when I first played with the beautiful trio I'm part of. It's called Cello Samba Trio, with my dear friend Jacques Morellenbaum and my dear friend Lula Galvão. And I can't wait to, be on the road again playing with these cats. They are amazing, they are lovely, they are genius. So it's the cello, guitar, and drums. And Jacques brought this song by Luizão Paiva, his piano player friend, which I actually played with too, but in a different situation. And the name of the song is Fla Flu. So it's basically like one of the most classic soccer matches in Brazil and probably in the world, like Flamengo against Fluminense. And everybody knows I'm Flamengo, so I'm really happy with that. So Fla-Flu by Luizão Paiva with Cello Samba Trio. Let's go. Let's see. By the way, this track is from the album Futuro da Saudade, Saudade do Futuro, the Cello Samba Trio album. It's something I have here, so I hope it works, because yeah, there's no drums. Okay, so let me turn this down. right. So that was Fla-Flu. And hopefully Flamengo won. Flamengo has won, hopefully. So, yeah. So this time I'm bringing other jazz element for the drums, for the samba, which is the brushes, something pretty cool that I love and really emulates like more people playing, in this song, what I try to make, it's like bring the samba school flavor. And samba school is something very special because when I say samba school, you could think like, wow, school of samba, like that place that people go to learn samba. But in fact, that's not the case. So the samba schools are basically like communities. We call the favelas, and now we used to call favelas. Now we call communities. But so there are communities of poor people, and then in every region, like neighborhood, not every, but many of those, because in Rio de Janeiro we have many mountains, like the geography of our city. It's surrounded by hills. So those hills, they made poor housing on that. And that's called favela. And then, the whole thing, this poor community. And those poor people, they basically they are the genius. They are Brazil. They are our culture. They are the samba. And the whole music, they are, if you go back to the history, it's all about like the slavery, the poor ones, they, going there. So the swing, the music, it's there. So that's why the whole samba history born in the favelas, and we have many of those. And then those favelas, they're named by the area. So we have Mangueira, we have Salgueiro, we have Portela, we have Império Serrano. And so all of them, they make the competition. So you guys know how it is, like the carnival party. So that's the samba school thing. We're talking about like 300 people playing, instruments. So when I play things like this, I imagine like at least like 50, 80 guys playing the tambourine, with their hands. And then we have the floor guy, the floor tom, the bass drum guy. So it's huge. So if I can get that sound, because everything here, it's about sound. So if I can get that sound and put over here, I'm making a beautiful mix of jazz and samba. Other beautiful way to express this, and also through this guy, is the bossa nova, because the bossa nova there's a beautiful debate. It's like between like drummers in Brazil, like is bossa nova samba or not? So I have a big friend like Bolon, Bolon. He used to say like bossa nova is not samba. And I kind of agree for many reasons, and I kind of disagree for many other. But basically, to not get involved in this debate, but just like getting the point, the bossa nova was born in the late 50s, like basically getting musicians, our musicians involved to the American jazz music, like the harmonies, the way the jazz harmony was. So we got that right there. But once again, we didn't have meanings, we didn't have anything. So they were basically fighting for to get a record. And then going home and like trying to learn everything. I'm talking about like Roberto Menescal, all those names like Jobim, Donato, all those guys, they were like learning, Marcos Vale, they were all learning from records, getting that flavor on. This story I'm telling, Roberto Menescal told me. So basically, they brought the harmony from the jazz. And in my beautiful dream, the thing, it's like, well, so we were talking about Copacabana Beach, one of the most famous beaches in the world, surrounded by beauty in the late, 50s, early 60s. So everything's beautiful, and then like they're basically hanging out in their apartments, and we can't have like a drum set in the apartment like smashing, like emulating like 300 guys playing samba. That doesn't make any sense, and then we have the same time the acoustic guitar with no mic, anything, and guys like learning those chords and try to sing by themselves, like sometimes like few girlfriends, or just other ones like singing. So everything was quiet, and that's the word that makes this guy the one on the bossa nova spirit. So basically for me, watching this story, I see like the bossa nova growing when we mix the American harmony with the Brazilian rhythm, but with the jazzy spirit on expression. So basically, the drummers were not playing drums; they were just playing brushes on top of the record covers, just to get this spirit, And this is something I really love, because the stick for drummers, you can play rudiments, everything, but you can only express yourself with this, like. You have to develop ways to find the sound and go with that. The stick gives you like the straight sound. So this one, no. And the bossa nova, we have to comp and make the rhythm exciting. It's a very interesting thing. If you get like the old records, I'm talking about like early Jabin records or the classic Stan Getz, all of them playing the bossa nova, like the rhythm was pretty much solid on their records, and like basically stamping to the world like this is the Brazil, this is bossa nova. So nowadays, like there are other elements in the drumming, it's getting under, but this is another thing too. The big deal here, it's just like getting that sound from jazz ballads. And then, so then you bring this. So the fla-flu I just played, I brought the brushes, but in a very, let's say, samba way. Now I'm going to play another song, and I just found today this thing, so I hope it works, because I haven't played this. And it was like a recording, or some try of recording, some trying, in a tribute for the classic João Donato, a bossa muito moderna de João Donato. It's an album from early 60s, and it's called A Bossa Muito Moderna, so he was just like showing something pretty much new. And the drummer was Milton Banana, which is very, common, very popular with his, drumming like this. Those straight notes, he was pretty magic doing that. But in this album, he was sounding totally different. And I'm gonna make something close to what he did. So you see how different it is, and how the bossa spirit is on there. Let me see, just one second. You know what? I'm gonna play two songs. This one and another one. Okay, I'll do different. I'm always like to do things different. So I'm gonna play first a song by Caetano Veloso in a very bossa spirit, and then we're gonna jump to this one straight. They are basically same subject, but you check the differences. The name is Coração Vagabundo, okay, by Caetano. It's another one I recorded with the beautiful Jax and Lula, my dears. All right, let's go. All right. Okay, okay. So that was Sambolero. This one, Sambolero by João Donato. And the other one was Coração Vagabundo by Caetano. So this one, it's Luiz Alves on bass, Klaus Miller. Hey Klaus, hope you're doing well, man. Miss you. Klaus Miller on the keys and Lula Galvão on the guitar. And yeah, so as you could see, like the writing here, I mean, I was playing opposite. I was playing the left hand here because, you know, I just like to shake here this way on the right hand. But actually this was like, that was the cymbal samba thing, you know. So it's basically, as you could easily see, what I'm playing here, it's what I was playing there, or pretty much similar. They are same language, same world, because they are the same. And that's something we take from the samba and bring to that, mix with the brushes, and we make the whole, jazz, samba jazz drumming, And before this one, that was a pretty much a bossa feel for the classic by Caetano Veloso, Coração Vagabundo. Basically, that record, we have the cello and the guitar making João Gilberto. Like the cello is the instrument that most get close to the voice. So we have the voice of the cello and the guitar as like João Gilberto world, which is one of the most significant, like the most classic label from the bossa nova era, and then like a light drumming, light percussion. That was the whole spirit. So the first section of the song, I was just like brushing. I was barely playing my hats and bass drum because it's everything here. So that's something we have to keep making. We cannot lose this. We cannot give everything in just once. We have to show all this other part of the history, like the source, And also, bossa nova carries a beautiful. I wouldn't say what's the word I could say that, but it's like a quote. So you can't sweat. That's the quote of bossa nova. If you're playing and sweating, that's not bossa. So you were wrong. So everything gotta be pretty, smooth, and the way we can make this valid, it's like being minimalist. Everything you think in playing, just keep thinking. Don't play it. The last is more. So play here, feel here, and express here. Like just less is more. That's like a big, lesson I got from the masters. And just to close this first thing, I want to talk about some more elements. And I want to play something, I would say this version I'm going to play now actually is going to be kind of first. I mean, I've played that before, but not like this, because I just found this online today. And this would be the answer, like for the whole mixing of samba, for the bossa nova, the Brazilian rhythm, and the jazz. I'm talking about a version of Você by Roberto Menescal, but performed by two of my dearest persons in the world, Eliane Elias and Mark Johnson. Two persons I love, and I really miss them. If they are around, love you guys. And I just found this online today, and I want to be, close to them again. So, this, let me make this thing here. Wait a second. Okay. So I'm talking about this. Where is? Okay, right here. So the way we play, it's all jazz. Okay, it's a jazz trio playing, bossa jazz, Brazilian jazz. Just be in mind, we are everything. We have to make a unit. No matter where you're from, we are in the same planet. If you're not in the same planet, if you're not from the same planet, we might be from the same galaxy. So let's keep making. Okay? So let's see if this works. All right, that was Eliane Elias and Mark Johnson. Você with me. Você means you, but that was me in this case. And also, Eliane, happy birthday. Yeah. Yes. So that was the meaning of this whole first story. I was telling you guys, bossa nova, samba, getting all those elements, mixing with the jazz drum kit, and making this beautiful crossing in between our cultures. Is there any questions around?
Someone asked earlier, how do you keep your right hand so loose?
Okay, well, that's a good question. How do I keep my right hand so loose? Well, basically, the looseness. Can I say it like this? Looseness. So the looseness is not exactly looseness. I'm just not playing those straight notes because I'm trying to play this guy. So something I like to have. It's so I don't know if you can see this. So let me get this out here. So the tamborim, one of the tamborins we call carreteiro is like this. Okay, dismount this. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So I could do so if I don't turn this is all I will get. Right? So at this moment, I'm bringing the tamborim to the cymbal, the tamborim phrasing to the cymbal. So it's kind of loose, but it's not really loose. Oh, sorry. I'm there? Yeah. It's kind of loose, but not really loose, because I'm playing phrasing, tamborim phrasing behind. Not only tamborim phrasing, any phrase that remains the samba. Not just straight. I like to use this as an element, like a surprise effect element, just like to shift the music to another level, or express something, some tension. But I never play like this. In the slow tempos, I can actually lay down a little bit. But eventually, you're gonna see I'm doing. Because otherwise, it gets so steady and it doesn't excite me. And when we playing fast, remind the tip I said, like minimalist, like less is more. If you play too much, okay, what I'm doing, I'm showing off. I mean, I don't like to show off. It was really hard to make this live tonight, okay? I don't like to show up or show up. So this is like, why are we doing that? I mean, we're not making music here. We're just like saying, oh, I have an unbelievable control of my sticking, and I'm like one of the greatest in the world doing that. But if you get like palm motion, all right? If you get palm motion drumming, and you're never gonna see him like doing the thing. And okay, let's be kind here. I'm not going against the whole world and the other drummers that love this. It's like a personal thing. It doesn't touch my heart. So I just play what touches my heart, and I try to touch everybody's hearts with what touches me. So I believe like floating, having like, it makes sense to me, like playing loose, it makes sense for the history of everything. So that's why, that's actually the best answer. And moving on and talking about a little history, I was suggested by Dan to talk about some few other elements from Brazil, like another rhythms like baiao, afoxe. Partido alto is a great kind of samba. So let's talk about that. The beautiful thing in between all of them, it's like everything becomes from, you know, the earlier generations, like the slavery, the religious parties, you know, the Afro thing, all that. And at that point, there was, once again, there was no drums. There was just percussion instruments like, you know, congas, you know, all those bells, whatever. So all those instruments making their party happening. And then when we bring it, as we did with the samba, so when we bring the other rhythms to the drum kit, we got to make adjustments, you know, for sound as the drums. And there is a very, you know, a sensitive line, if I can say like that, because we can blow the whole thing, you know. You have to make sure you are making like the most important elements for each rhythm live in your drumming. For example, I was showing right now the tamborim thing. So tamborim is not drums, but it's here. It's on the center, not a side on top, or it's on the center. That's my heart. You know what I mean? So that's the guy. So it's still live on my jazz kit. So if I play another rhythm, I gotta make sure. Rhythms brought from percussions. I gotta make sure I'm keeping those elements alive on the kit, you know. And sometimes we just messed up. That's why I said like it's a very sensitive line. We can mess up and blow the whole thing. So at that point, we lose the connection with the source, with the organic thing, and then we make, if I can say in the worst word, we can make like, you know, like machines, you know, like, I think you guys got it. You know, we just have to go a little more, just keep going, and you're gonna find something pretty much special and try to make that work, you know, because it's not easy, you know. No, everything doesn't resume on the kit as just like bass, snare, and hats, like those groups, they are beautiful working together, but no, that's not everything like this always. You can build you can build grooves in a different ways. Like this is an instrument, this is another instrument. So I'm playing here with my hand, but I'm on drums. So this is drums, you know. I just need to understand, like, whatever the name says, it doesn't say like I have to play with that, respecting this and that. So that's the jazz meaning, right? We're talking about freedom, expression, and everything. And what I just played here was what? Like a zabumba line from baiao. So that's another rhythm, very popular from northeast of Brazil, northeastern, and like the big legend, the guy that carried this style was Luis Gonzaga, undoubtedly. That's a very hard word. And yeah, that became famous on the mid 40s, you know, and on the radios. And what baiao is, it's just like a mix of few instruments. We have like triangle, we have zabumba, and we have accordion. So the guy singing, playing accordion, there's another one playing the triangle, another one playing the zabumba, which is a kind of drum like this, but, you know, larger. And we play with a little stick we call bacalhau, which is like codfish, because of the bone, you know. So just to get that kind of sound. That kind of sound. So that's why I'm playing. I'm just trying to get the overtones here. So those are the elements from the baião, zabumba and triangle. So if you play like a groove like this, as I see many drummers doing, it can work. It could work, especially if you have like percussion players playing all those elements. But if you don't have it, you're losing the magic things, And it's okay, as long as you like find your spot to play that and that way, But if we're talking about like jazz approach, I would encourage you guys like to go over and try to get those essentials, for your kid. Like the same happens with, for example, partido alto. Partido alto is a kind of samba that became pretty much popular back in the days. I would say, oh man, I mean that comes from Django. Django was like a kind of a rhythm play in those parties with special instruments, not special, but just like a different drums, everyone playing a line. So, and it's 6/8. It's this very Afro thing, And the partido alto actually has a okay, so this is the basic key for partido alto. Let me show you guys. Let's see if we can make this work. Can you see that? How's that going? Yeah, try that. Try to help me. Yeah. Okay, so what we have there is so I'm playing the bottom line on the bass drum and the top line on the snare. So 3, 4. And I'm going to put the tempo here. Okay? But actually, this came from this guy, which is not the tamborim. This is the pandeiro. And so basically we get that sound. So it's a big slap, happening twice on the bar. So it's But there isn't a tip for drummers right now here. So in between those notes, we're playing. So sometimes when they want to play on the drums, they're going to bring all those notes to the bass drum. And that, for me, for the jazz feel, that makes heavier for me. Because this is a tambo, it's the pandeiro. So this is one thing. This is another thing. And that's boomy. Mixes with the bass, the electric or double bass, and makes a huge problem. So if you want to make a cool jazzy version, you gotta save notes, be minimalist. So try to play less bass drum and lighter. So I wouldn't even play those. I was, because this is the important here. And that's cool because that was as I told you guys, the instruments. Oh my God, the instruments from Django, like the tambu, caxambu, candongueiro, those drums. Each one playing a line, and then basically the main line is like. So 1, 2, 3, 5. 5, 6, 6. So when you do this, you see like so there are slaps and like low, bass notes, and then that thing somehow became. So at this point, let's figure out one thing. I'm playing bass drum, 1, just on 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. I also like to play bass drum, having advantage to use like a 18 bass drum jazz kit, open notes and closed notes. So open like means the beater, it's doing this, and closed notes like this. So I have 2 big and 1 closed. So that's what I'm playing right there. So, what do we play on the pandeiro? So, if I'm playing partido alto, I would probably play that. I don't mind. I have to once again make sure my drumming, my bass drumming blends with the bass player. That's the most important thing, okay? But right now, just like, my hat and bass drum and pandeiro, I wouldn't play. What is better? You can tell me on the message. What does it sound better? Or so that's the idea, okay? So we gotta make it some foundation to get the elements, shine. So I'm actually, let me play it real quick. I don't know how we're doing with timing, but yeah, let me play a song I recorded with a great piano player, arranger, composer. It's called Antônio Adolfo. Antônio is a master from Brazil. That guy, he's a legend. He was part of the creation of, bossa, samba, jazz, everything. He had a beautiful band called Abrazuca, and to have an idea, like that name became a slang and then ended up being the name of the ball in the epic World Cup we had there, getting massive destroyed by Germany. But anyway, Brazuca, man, Brazuca. And Brazuca had the Luizão Maia, the killing bass player, as the bass player, and many other great musicians. And I have an honor to work with Antonio for years, like in these projects. Many of them like Grammy nominated, all great arrangements, compositions, and everything. And I just found a good sample of this partido alto thing in one of his records, and I want to share here. It's called partido leve. It's like soft partido. It's interesting. Okay, so I'll try to play that. I mean, it's been a couple of years we have recorded, but let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, so that was Partido Leve by Antônio Adolfo. So at the very end, that was a drum solo of mine. I wouldn't play another drum solo on top of another drum solo. You guys don't deserve this, in a good way, of course. let's save some years. So yeah, so as you could see, like partido, it's samba. They are all together. You know, I mean, we gotta make the thing as an element. You know, very naturally. If you stay locked there, depending on the arrangement, you know, it's not gonna sound. It's totally like jazz. If you play like, you know, everything, and there's no interaction, no phrasing, there's no interplay. That's what's the point? You know, we gotta keep listening to the others, and those Brazilian things is the same. You gotta make the elements just come up, like the phrasing very naturally. So the only way it's getting involved with that, listen, I actually, for the partido alto, I have some names here I want to share with you guys. Okay, go ahead. So those names, they were the first ones that became popular with the partido alto, because there's another samba environment behind this, like the samba de roda, like roda de samba, like they playing together, partying. So those names, Aniceto do Império, it's like from Império Serrano. We have Candeia from Portela. We have Geraldo Babão from Salgueiro. Those are samba schools. Geraldo Babão, Salgueiro is my neighborhood in Brazil, near my neighborhood. Actually, my dad composed a song in a partnership with Geraldo Babão, a samba. It's called Lola Crioula. And we have many of those here, like Clementina Jesus, Seca Pagodinho. You probably heard those names, Almir Neto, Arlindo Cruz. So I take a print on the screen, and then you get all of this information, and you can track online, So the big ones are let's say the legends, and those are the new ones, most recent. All right, so I think we're getting close to the end, right? And before to say goodbye, I want to once again thank you so much, Dan Fox, for an invitation. MorningSideMusicStudio.com. It's a beautiful place. You can get music in your life. And if you need any more information about me, like recordings, classes, everything, I mean, you can find me online. I mean, I have my RafaelBarata.com, and or reach Dan. And once again, Arlington Jazz, thank you so much for the happening. And I hope you guys, enjoyed. That was a beautiful journey. I want to close playing another song. That's going to be cool. Oh, just one other quote. I'm going to play this afoxe song, which is another rhythm. I didn't talk too much about that, but you guys are going to get it. And the story is, there's this guy, Jackson do Pandeiro. Okay, so this name, Jackson, like Michael Jackson, and he was a legend. Okay, Jackson, he used to say, like, everything comes from cocoa, which is a northeastern Britain. And the other one, he says, like, everything is samba, otherwise it's baião. If it's not baião, it's samba. You got it? So there's no more nominations, anything. Like, if it's not samba, it's baião. If it's not baião, it's samba. So that's it. And that guy, it's super, he was huge. Jackson, like Michael Jackson, do Pandeiro, And actually, his name was José Gomes Filho. But the reason, I'm talking about 40s and something like that. But before early 20s, when we have like the silent cinema. He said, like, at the time, every artist was like Jackson, Jackson. The name of the actors, there was always some Jackson on. I said, you know what? I want to be a Jackson. So he changed his name for Jackson do Pandeiro, and then he became so huge, and I love this story. Actually, a friend of mine, Mingo Araújo, great percussionist, told me this story. They were close. So if it's not samba, it's baião. If it's baião, it's not samba. That's it. That's if it's not baião, it's samba. That's it. And okay, so I'm gonna play. There's another thing, afoxe. Okay, talking real quick. Okay, I can make it real quick just to finish this. Okay, real quick because it's pretty interesting. Thanks to my daughter to borrow me this. Obrigado, Bia, você me emprestou isso. So this is the rhythm, the basic pattern. Okay. Oh man, it's not gonna fit here. Damn. I'm gonna make magic. Hope I can make this. Uh-oh. Yeah, that sounds terrible, but maybe you can read this. Is that okay? Okay. And this guy here, show them agogo. So that's the line for this. So bass drum goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So there's another rhythm for percussion, not for the drumming. But if you want to adjust, we have the caxixi, the shaker. We can put on tempo 1, 2, 1, 2. The surdo, the 4, we can make here on the bass drum 1, 2, 2 it, 2 it, 2 it. So we got some good thing. So that's the spirit of the thing. So when you bring to drums, we can make so we can open up, we can totally open up, but sometimes I see like grooves like partido, just playing different things on top. Once again, if you have percussionists playing with you, then you can make some solid and like squared, groove just to, it helps. But they're gonna make the magic. But otherwise, you have to make those elements, to in order to keep the style happening. So this song I'm gonna play to finish, it's composed by a beautiful, great piano player. Her name is Delia Fischer. Hey Delia, if you're there, yeah, you made it. So I was just today remembering some Ijexá, and that came in my mind, this sound, and I sent her a message. And okay, so we were talking about 20 years ago, and in just one show we did, and somehow that whole thing it stayed in my mind, and I was like, hey Delia, how about that? And then I was asking about another song. So anyway, she sent me the track. And I want to share this track with you guys because it's pretty cool. She just recorded. She's a piano player from Brazil. She's a killing piano player, and actually this is it comes from her album, like years ago album. It's on ECM Records. You can find on Spotify. Just find Delia Fischer, and the name of the song is Ijexá. It's Ijexá. But I think she made a joke with the, it switched letters. Anyway, I'll play that. And once again, thank you so much for being here. And reach me out if you have any questions, rafaelbarata.com. Reach them at morningsidemusicstudio.com. And thanks, Arlington, and have a great evening of your Sunday and a beautiful week. And don't forget, take your shots as soon as you can and keep wearing masks, okay? This is not joke. This is just about life, all right? Take care. So let's go, Ijexá. All right, here we go.